We're not going to let you forget what you're doing to unhoused people.
It's time to get these people off public property.
San Diego's controversial homeless encampment ban now has been passed. It'll go into effect 30 days from now, but we'll also tell you what the city is trying to do to help the homeless.
In other states like Arizona, it's much easier to remove a tenant.
Do landlords have rights? How owners can protect themselves.
Long line, kids that were crying, sleeping on the floor.
The 4 things causing issues at airports before the 4th of July travel rush.
We start off the morning with dense cloud cover, but we've got sunshine in the forecast by the afternoon. Today, the cooler day, and then later this week into the weekend, we are warming our temperatures up. It is Wednesday, June 28th, and you're up with CBS 8.
This morning, the city of San Diego is getting ready to open a new safe sleeping site for people experiencing homelessness. Thanks for being here at 6 a.m., everyone. I'm Eric Connard.
And I'm Dana Marie McNichol, filling in for Neda Aramport. Now, this all comes after City Council passed the controversial encampment ban. CBS 8's Chris Groh is live in Golden Hill with more on what the mayor is announcing today. Chris.
Yeah, good morning, Eric and Dana Marie. And look, these two things go hand in hand. We're talking about the homeless encampment ban, but also the safe sleeping site, which will be sort of previewed today by Mayor Todd Gloria and the city. This will house about 136 people who choose to come to this site, use their tents, but also utilize the resources that are here. However, even with this site opening, we are hearing the criticism that is coming in about this encampment ban. We heard it yesterday inside of City Hall, where we were just as it passed its second reading. Take a listen to what some of those voices had to say.
It's horrible. You guys are so mean and cruel. I can't even believe you.
We're not going to let you forget what you're doing to unhoused people.
So again, the safe sleeping program being launched in conjunction with the unsafe camping ordinance. 136 spaces for tents will be here. Then in the fall, there will be another site that will open, which will house about an additional 400 tents. That's expected to open in the fall. As for the unsafe camping ordinance, or the homeless encampment ban, this will, of course, go ahead and ban camping in all public spaces throughout the city if shelter beds are available. It gets rid of that provision for shelter bed availability if the tents are in parks, canyons, schools, transit stations, and or near homeless shelters. A lot of people have been wondering about enforcement. We have since learned, according to Mayor Todd Gloria, that it will be a 3-strike policy on the third encounter between first responders and those living in the tents. If they still refuse to go to a shelter bed or move, they could be arrested. Now, we also heard from some people who are in support of the ordinance, as well as the other measures being taken by the city, in particular because, again, they have either been hampered by this or they fear the public safety or health hazards that come with the sudden rash and increase there of these encampments.
The silent majority in this great city agrees with Mr. Whitburn and the mayor of this great city. It's time to get these people off public property.
And we'll be hearing from the mayor as well as other city representatives later on this morning about the safe sleeping site. Again, we're on 20th and B. This will be the new home in the foreseen future here for this site. But to learn a little bit more about the ordinance, again, it goes into effect 30 days from this week. You can go to CBS8.com and click on that story link. Eric and Dana Marie.
Chris, thank you. And this morning we are working for you here, finding other ways the city is trying to prevent homelessness. The new tenant protection ordinance is now in effect. That means tenants who are evicted at no fault of their own will get paid 2 months' rent by the landlord. Also, people in the city of San Diego can apply for the Housing Instability Prevention Program that provides a small rent subsidy for people at risk of becoming homeless. But what about you landlords out there? Do you guys have any rights in all of this? We're going to take a closer look at all of that coming up here in just a few minutes.
Today in Encinitas, they're expected to declare a local emergency when it comes to bicycle and e-bike safety. The city council will finally hold a vote on a stricter rule. If approved, helmets would be enforced for those under 17, and only one rider would be allowed at a time on a bike. Also, law enforcement would first require a safety course rather than automatically issuing a citation. This comes after a 15-year-old boy died in an e-bike crash in Encinitas last week. The sheriff's department says the teen changed lanes into the path of a van. Carlsbad also recently amended their e-bike code after a woman was killed while riding a bike with her toddler.
This morning, a major step forward in the fight to clean up the contaminated waters of Imperial Beach after county leaders declared a state of emergency. For decades now, sewage just flowing from Mexico has plagued the South Bay, polluting beaches, which have been effectively off limits for over a year, some 500 days. The hope is the federal government will now follow suit with a similar declaration and finally spend the more than $300 million in congressional funds already earmarked to fix the problem.
But so to someone speak up for us, it feels great, you know, finally get a voice.
Every day, roughly 35 million gallons of raw sewage from Mexico flows into the U.S. through the Tijuana River, totaling more than 100 billion gallons since 2018, according to federal officials.
Right now, a gunman is still on the loose after a man was killed in City Heights. Now, it happened before noon yesterday on 40th Street between Thord and Redwood Streets. Police say an officer found a bystander doing CPR on the 35-year-old victim. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. The suspect was seen running away toward Thorn Street. He was described as a teenage boy or a young man. So if you have any information, please call police. Trash hauling rates are going up in La Mesa. City Council approved a proposal for the provider EDCO. Household rates will go up 8%. That's a little over $2 a month on average. Businesses will see a 7% increase. That will go up about $8 more a month. The new rates take effect July 1st.
This morning, SeaWorld's popular electric eel roller coaster, it's shut down after a rider was hurt. Cal OSHA is investigating an accident involving a person who suffered a leg injury. This was back on June 9th. The San Diego Fire Rescue Department tells us a man in his 20s was taken to UC San Diego Medical Center in Hillcrest. Right now, we do not know how that injury happened or the extent of the injuries. The ride has been closed since. SeaWorld isn't commenting on this, and there's no word on when the ride could reopen.
And this morning, MTS minibuses, they're expected to return to normal service as work stoppage ends. This is an agreement that was just reached between contractor Transdev and the Union for Minibus Drivers. These are the buses that serve people with disabilities. MTS expects routes to operate on a normal schedule, but there could be some missed trips as the systems continue to recover. Bus service in the South Bay and East County also returned to normal recently after an agreement between another union and third-party contractor. And this morning, hundreds of flights across the U.S. are already canceled due to severe weather. We just checked, and there are a handful of cancellations and several delays at the San Diego International Airport. So if you are traveling, please keep an eye. United Airlines says FAA staffing is partly to blame. Another issue that could come into play is air quality from wildfires in Canada. Chicago had the worst air quality in the world yesterday due to the smoke. There could also be disruptions as airlines update their equipment to 5G wireless standards. The deadline to do that is Saturday. So this all comes as AAA predicts 4 million Americans are going to fly for July 4th.
Big time of year for tourists to join us, and they are liking this San Diego weather. What they don't know is May and June was nothing like this.
They don't know what we had to go through for 2 months to get to this point. It is Wednesday. It's another beautiful day outside. Cloud cover is dense to start off the morning, so we do have that marine layer on repeat. However, those clouds are expected to break apart very quickly. 9 a.m. was the pattern yesterday. Those clouds started to scatter. You can already start to make out that scattering for our more eastern valleys. So we do expect sunshine to be the case by about 10 a.m. all the way through the rest of your day. We're going to peak in the low 70s along the coastline, mid 70s for our inland valleys, 73 for the mountains, and 100 for the deserts. Now, although this is a very comfortable day and a very mild day, very similar to the last several, we are still trending cooler than normal by about 5 to 10 degrees. So when will we finally make that recovery? When will we head back to normal? It's going to happen pretty quickly. We expect that change to come in the next several days as a warming trend really starts to kick in. We know a lot of the visitors are visiting the coast, 2 to 4 foot waves out there. Water temperature still chilly, 64 degrees, and that risk of rip currents remains moderate. Reapply, reapply, reapply. That sunscreen is necessary. UV index stays extreme for today. 77 for Santee and El Cajon, 73 for La Mesa, 69 down south in Chula Vista. We take a look up up the coast to North County. 73 this afternoon in Oceanside, 64 in Encinitas, and 75 for Escondido and Poway. But take a look at this 10-day temperature trend. Today is the coolest day, and then we start to climb. By the time we get to the weekend, really that Saturday through Monday stretch, we're in the above average range. And then we start a small cool down going into your 4th of July itself. It's not going to drop us by much, but it is going to bring this somewhat of a heat wave to an end. But still, by this upcoming weekend, we are really going to start to feel that warmth in the above average temperatures. Now for traffic, here's a look at the border wait times we have currently from the CBP website. General line for the San Ysidro Port of Entry, it is just about 80 minutes right now. For the Otay Mesa Port of Entry, we're looking at about a 70-minute wait time. For more on what our highways look like here in San Diego County, you can head to our website at cbsa.com/traffic. Back to you, too.
All right, thanks, Evan. Still ahead, a wildfire in Riverside destroys homes. We're helping you prepare for the fire season to protect your property.
Plus, San Diego home prices are up for the 3rd month in a row. We'll tell you where we stand now. And an attorney breaks down landlords' rights. We'll tell you what owners need to know.